fishing. Requirements: the ability to find fish. Strategy, tactics, flawless execution, physical endurance, mental toughness, emotional durability. The playing field: God's greatest arena. The competition: 200 of the most accomplished anglers in the world. The prize pool: over $900,000. Let the games begin.
That's a magnum spot.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes!
Look at that bad boy. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Glory, check it! $500,000 Richard.
Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Leibowitz, along with Chris Jones. Welcome to the inaugural event of the FLW Series. Some of the world's top pros have assembled here. They are vying for the top prize of $100,000. What a way to get it started.
Hey, Keith, we have the greatest anglers in the world here this week. You've got David Fritz out there, Larry Nixon, Tom Mann Jr., Clark Winlet. These guys competing for a $900,000 purse. We're paying back $10,000 to 50 places on the pro side this week.
Another name that you mentioned, Tom Mann Jr. He's got a lot of local knowledge here on Lake Lanier. We caught up with Tom before the event to find out exactly how this event would be won.
Below us right here, this is the actual dam of Lake Sidney Lanier. Is actually the true name of the lake. It's named after the famous writer. Actually built in the mid-50s. I think it was full in 55 or 56, if I'm not mistaken. You know, the lake is about 40 miles long. It's 38,000 surface acres, 560 miles of shoreline of beautiful clear water that comes straight out of the North Georgia mountains. We have two rivers that feed the lake, the Chattahoochee River and the Chestatee River, and they both come straight out of the mountains up there, so it's cool, clear water. And they started a striper stocking program here. And with that came the live bait fishermen. And with that came the blueback herring. Actually, enough of them got in the lake where they started spawning and breeding, so now we've got this huge blueback population. And what it's done, it has brought our fishery full circle again. Now we're catching these huge strings of spotted bass again.
Woo! There's a good one.
Any one-day tournament here, almost any time, it's going to take 5 spots that weigh 17, 18, 19, 20 pounds to win, and sometimes over 20. So primarily it's a spotted bass fishery from the Big Steel Bridge, Browns Bridge, to the lower end, to the dam. If you go above that bridge and you get into tributaries of the Chestatee River or the Chattahoochee River, what you have then is you start getting into more of a largemouth bass fishery. There are plenty of spots up there, but if you want to target largemouth, you must go up the lake.
You know, Chris, you really have to marvel at the ability of these pros to get it done year in and year out. It's really one of the big questions I get from weekend anglers, and that is, how do these guys in a limited time go out and find the fish each and every week?
Yeah, Keith, you know, these are the greatest anglers in the world. But with the Walmart FLW Series, you have 4 practice days before the competition begins, and with hundreds of miles of shoreline and thousands of acres out there, they have to put a game plan together really, really fast, and these pros right here are going to show you how they do that.
Anytime you fish a lake of this size, you have to break it down by sections rather than just look at it like one big reservoir. The depth, terrain, cover, water color, and temperature all tend to change throughout the impoundment. But within a general sectional lake, these characteristics should remain somewhat similar. Your first focus is to determine the sections that provide the best fish habitat at this time of year. The bass in Lake Lanier are in transition. They're moving from the wintering areas to their spawning areas. Bass in these reservoirs typically spend the wintertime on main lake deep water points. But in the next couple weeks, they're going to start moving back up into these coves and these pockets once the water temperature reaches the correct temperature. Once you begin checking and fishing broad areas with good seasonal potential, pay careful attention to specific types of structure or smaller spots that produce bass. Are you catching fish in the midsection of the lake, partway back in the coves, in the lower lake near creek mouths, or far up the lake in the back ends of coves? Once you determine the sections and areas of major fish activity, focus in on them and start establishing fishing patterns.
How quickly and efficiently an angler breaks down a body of water is a critical element in finding fish. When we come back, we'll show you how the FLW pros chose the best presentation for each location. Stay tuned. This is the Walmart FLW Series on FLW Outdoors. Welcome back to FLW Outdoors and the Walmart FLW Series on Georgia's Lake Lanier. Now that we have established where these pros are contacting fish, let's take a look at how they trigger them to strike.
Keith, we weighed in a lot of anglers this week. All 200 pros caught fish this week, and we've heard a lot about strategies, techniques, patterns, etc. But you have to have the right bait for the fish to bite.
It is amazing, Chris, to have the top anglers in the world out there on the water all bringing fish to the scales. But the one thing that differs, their presentation, it varies dramatically.
Done a little DT6.
Skipping a jig.
Baby brush hog.
A spinner bait and a 1/4 ounce jig.
The jerk bait was a pattern that really paid off today.
1/8 ounce spot sticker jig head with green pumpkin with red flakes.
Anytime you've got deep, clear water, soft baits are the #1 way to catch quantities of bass. No question about it. And my #1 choice in a soft bait would be a gulp or a power bait little shaky head worm, 4-inch, green pumpkin or watermelon, rigged on a little jig head with a 2/0 mustad hook. You can't beat that. It's such a versatile lure. You can fish it up on rocky points, you can fish it deep on the ledges, you can fish it in brush piles, under boat docks. It'll catch fish from a foot deep all the way down to 50, 60 feet deep.
But soft baits are not the only finesse tools. Yamaha pro Terry Baxay likes to give a soft look to his hard baits.
I'm throwing a jerk bait. I'm throwing a X-Rep quite a bit, and I'm just fishing it really slow. For some reason, they want it fished. I mean, the pause is painful. 5 to 10 second pause on the jerk bait. Throw it out there, jerk, jerk, and then let it sit there for 5 to 10 seconds. All of a sudden, your line will just go boink, and you lift up, and there'll be a fish on it. And when they eat it, then they eat it.
And I've been catching most of my fish on topwater, a long A-bomber. You can get a little bit of cloud cover. They come out from under the docks, and you can catch them on top. The whole deal is you cast it out, and you let it stay up on top, and you just barely wind, about like waking a redfin for stripers. And they'll get behind it, and if you can ever get one to chasing it, it's a done deal. They're gonna hit it.
What I was targeting was a spotted bass. In the mornings, I got probably 3 or 4 places on this lake where I can go catch a quick limit of spots. So you can stick that fish head out, and I'm just barely moving it on bottom, just making it bounce off the bottom, and that's where I'm getting all my strikes. That's what my game plan was, to catch them, and then once it got about 10:30, I was going to start looking for largemouth. I found the largemouth shallow, 6 feet shallower on docks with a jerkbait.
You know, Keith, throughout the tournament and throughout the course of the day, the pros are continually adapting to the current conditions to stay on active fish.
And Chris, most of the anglers agree a 12-pound daily average will put you in serious contention for the top 10 cut. Still though, after 2 days of the tournament action, most of the field is in the hunt.
Including A&W pro JT Kinney, who's targeting docks, a strategy that produced over 13 pounds on day 1 and 15 pounds on day 2, which puts him in prime position to make the top 10 cut.
And one of the local favorites, Ranger Pro Tom Mann Jr. Stumbled on day 1 with just 9 pounds, but found redemption on day 2 with over 15 pounds, one of the biggest limits of the day.
Another local pro, Tim Farley, made the home court advantage pay off big on day 1 with a monstrous 19-pound limit.
But on day 2, the home team dropped the ball, allowing veteran pro Terry Baxay to scoop up Farley's fumble and sprint into the lead.
These fish are hot one day and cool the next. Keith, it's obvious no lead is safe on Lanier this week.
Am I going to change anything? No. I'm going to go do the same thing. I'm just going to cover more water. I fish with my life jacket on all day long. I fish up 50, 75 spots a day.
It's actually a really tough fishery unless you hit it right in the spring, but the thing about it is it's got so many fish in it, you figure out how to catch them. You can go out there and jerk on them all day because there is so many bass in this lake.
Throw.
Yeah. And his favorite fishing style is finesse fishing, so he likes this lake. His goal is 12 pounds each day, so he made his goal.
When we come back, it's cut-down day. Do or die with a shot at $100,000 and the first ever Walmart FLW Series title on the line.
That's what we come to Lake Lanier for right there.
Welcome back to the FLW Series on Lake Lanier in the beautiful rolling hills of northeast Georgia, near the historical city of Gainesville. Keith Leibowitz along with Chris Jones here. And Chris, the tension is as thick as the Georgia mist as the field hits the water here on day 3.
When this day ends, only 10 pros will earn a ticket to the final day run for the money, and one co-angler will become the first ever Walmart FLW Series co-angler champion.
Early on, Ranger Pro Tim Peak on fire.
There it is. These spotted bass in here in largemouth too are pulling up here feeding first thing every morning, and I've been able to get on it every day. Pulled in here and caught a limit yesterday in about an hour and 15 minutes.
Peak has a limit by mid-morning, but he knows he's going to need some bigger bites to be on the water on day 4. A&W Root Beer Pro JT Kinney has been counting on an afternoon bite, and so far, his morning is as slow as he expected.
But Kenny's co-angler, Randall Green from Georgia, isn't waiting around for the bass to cooperate. He's hooking the kind of fish that could put him in the running for the $20,000 co-angler title.
Most of the docks I've been catching them off of have about 15 or 20 feet of water off the front of them, but they're towards the back of the creek, like I guess where they're going to spawn. That's why I've been running around just trying to look for the docks in the back that look like they got a little water on them.
Finally, by mid-morning, Kinney's dock pattern is producing as number 1 goes into the live well.
Keith leader Terry Baxay is targeting schools of herring just under the surface and the big spotted bass that are chasing them. But his pattern has slowed every day, and here already at mid-morning, he's only got 2 fish in the box.
And Chris, check out hometown hero Tim Farley. He is back on his game.
And he's on the kind of fish that will almost ensure a ticket to the final day shootout.
At the docks, tension is high for both the pros on the top 10 bubble and the co-anglers in the running for the $20,000 top prize.
Your champion on the co-angler side is Kevin Coon. He'll win $20,000.
With over 36 pounds for 3 days, co-angler Kevin Coon, an Arkansas native, tops the 200-man field to earn the first ever Walmart FLW Series co-angler title. On the pro side, the vast majority of the field is lugging solid sacks of Lake Lanier lunkers to the scale, but only 10 will have enough to see another day.
Yeah, things went a lot different today than I thought they were going to. One thing that saved me is there's more fish moving up every day, so hopefully that'll be enough.
You know, it's going to be close. I'm going to be right on the borderline, I think, so we'll just have to see how it goes.
Man is the comeback kid, overcoming a horrible first day with a couple of solid limits to squeak into the top 10. The hottest angler on the water, Shinichi Fukai. The FLW Tour Lake Okeechobee champion from just a few weeks ago is in position to add the first ever FLW Series title to his resume. But he'll have to catch up to Terry Baxay, who will take a 1-pound lead into the final day in the battle for $100,000. And what's the leader's secret? Well, an uncanny ability to follow pre-spawn fish in transition.
Practice was awesome. I had some really, really good days. But every single day the fish moved. They moved from about 25 feet deep, they moved to 20, to 15, to 10, and they moved a lot shallower than they have been. I was looking on the map. Each day I would start in a different area, and actually the last day of practice is when I found the spot that I have caught all my fish on. Basically, not all of them, but almost every one I've caught it. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to find an area that had both deep water and shallow water in it. And that's basically what I found. That's a way to catch them.
So an impressive top 10 field is set to face off against the hungry bass of Lake Lanier. The big money pressure is intense, with the final day roller coaster of wild highs, woo, and heartbreaking lows. Stay tuned. FLW Outdoors will be right back. Welcome back to FLW Outdoors here on Fox Sports Net. Keith Leibowitz along with Chris Jones. Lake Lanier, we have established a top 10 field here in the inaugural event of the FLW Series, and a fantastic top 10 field at that. Terry Baxay sitting on top of the heap right now, and this is a man that would love to break through with a victory.
Absolutely, Keith. So many times so close to a win. You look back at 2003, Kentucky Lake, the FLW Tour, had a top 10 there. Then 2004, the String Series, Lake Champlain, top 10 there. So close, so many times, just barely missing the win.
Another guy making our top 10 cut, his name is Tim Farley, and he is a local favorite here. And one of the things about Tim, Chris, is that he felt so much pressure to make the top 10 field. His family was out here. Everyone was cheering for him, and he got there.
I tell you what, the local support I had over here is just phenomenal. I mean, everybody was great. I'm excited about getting to the weigh-in today.
I think I can still do it. These guys stumbled just a little bit.
I got to make a decision. I'm going in this thing 10th. I'm a little bit behind, so I've got to have a huge catch to win.
The fog has got us again, so I'd probably burn off here a little bit, but this is kind of what I wanted. I want some cloud cover.
I hope there is a fog delay like Wesley was talking about, because I haven't caught a fish till 10 o'clock anyway, so just sit around here and drink coffee for a little while. So we'll go out and have a good day, hopefully catch 5 and see how it goes.
Chris, it's day 4 of the Walmart FLW Series here on Lake Lanier, and now Mother Nature has decided to enter the fray.
Big time fog, Keith, and while tournament officials survey the conditions, the anglers are held at bay until the fog is safely lifted. A painful wait for anyone with an early bite or a long run.
On the water, visibility is still at a premium.
In fact, Jody Cordell has to drop a marker just to stay close to his hot spot, and precise casts are key to contact fish holding in isolated brush piles.
Woo! There's a good one. Yeah, actually we're fishing a little sunken island right here, and I'm just sort of blind casting because the fog's just bad. I can't even see where it's at. There's a pole out there somewhere.
That's what we're looking for.
The late start means Ranger Pro Tom Mann Jr. is shifting gears. He's in the same area as Cordell, but instead of fighting the poor visibility in the deep brush, he is hunting spotted bass, busting bait fish in nearby coves.
Yeah, we got a start. What happens is this bait gets on the surface. There's a school of bait right over there, and they just swim around these pockets. And the bass don't swim around, follow them. Really, they just stay put. And when the bait comes over them, they just, they're instinctively they're looking up all the time. When the bait comes over them, they just go into them. And if you're within casting distance, it's a no-brainer. It's about as easy a fishing as you could ever do. All you got to do is get your lure in there.
A few good bites under these conditions will really set him up for his afternoon big bass bite, Keith.
A&W Pro JT Kinney is still running and gunning and has 3 fish early, but he's going to need bigger fish to make up a nearly 7-pound deficit. Fujifilm Pro Wesley Strader is fishing just out of Gainesville and is capitalizing on the early morning surface activity.
The largemouth they're really wanting to come to the bank, but if you can get a little bit of cloud cover, they come out from under the docks, and you can catch them on top. But once the sun comes out later up in the day and it heats up, those fish really tuck up under the floats, and you can actually see the fish laying up under floats. And I mean, they're some giants. And once that happens, you can take a Zoom Super Fluke and you start skipping back in. They may be 10 or 15 bass laying under one dock. Come on!
Now, if he could just get every bite back to the boat, he'd already be upgrading.
Now here's an interesting story, Chris. Mike Otten is the only angler specifically targeting largemouth in the muddy waters of the upper river.
Yep, he's the lone river rat, fishing extremely shallow with spinnerbaits and crankbaits, a drastically different approach than everyone else.
Each day, one thing that I found when fishing these areas is I learn more and more. The fish start to change in the way they're positioning on cover. In the last 2 days especially, they're just getting in extreme shallow water, which is a good thing. Fish are moving up and they're getting active, but they're really getting in skinny water. which is good because you can kind of identify where they're going to be at. You really need to just stay focused and stay in your area and be patient, and the bites will come. Like I said, every day it's tough because at 11 o'clock I got one fish. You know, sometimes I don't have any fish, and you just have to stick with it. And then one turns to two, and the next thing you know, you'll get a limit in a short amount of time once that water temperature warms up.
From the muddy water power fishing of Mike Otten to the crystal clear, super slow finesse fishing of Shinichi Fukai. Stay tuned. The Walmart FLW Series Lake Lanier Final Day Shootout continues right after this. Welcome back to FLW Outdoors. Keith Leibowitz along with Chris Jones on Georgia's Lake Lanier, where the final day of competition in the first ever Walmart FLW Series event is underway.
Keith Ranger Pro Shinichi Fukai started the final day in 3rd position, and the early morning clouds is putting a cramp in his dock fishing style.
I need the sun because fish likes shade under the both docks.
But Chris, few are as patient as Shin Fukai, and has finally paid off. No doubt about it. Fukai will have something to say about who wins this tournament. But that's not an unusual position for this amazing fishing fanatic from the Far East. FLW Tour winner, Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, multi-top 10 finisher, Shinichi Fukai. On the water, he is a superstar. And off, he's grounded, playful, and extremely focused. You see, for Shin, home is where the heart is. On the road in the Fukai Express, chasing bass and a dream to be the best. The nomadic search for bass fishing greatness began a half a world and a half a lifetime away as a bank fishing 8-year-old in Osaka, Japan. But the journey to the top of the bass fishing world is one no man could handle alone. And Me You Fukai is the glue that holds this bass fishing machine together. His loving wife is his travel companion, interpreter, nutritionist, pre-fishing partner, photographer, and of course, financial advisor. When most guys are reaching for that first cup of coffee, Shin grabs for something else. The Fukai edge is garnered by hard work and grueling hours. Every fish, every spot, every lure is painstakingly recorded and scrutinized. In a game where ounces and inches can make or break your career, no one pays more attention to details than Team Fukai. Their fun-loving gypsy lifestyle is not one everyone would choose, but for Shin and Me You, it's the only way to live.
Eating, sleeping, eating.
What an unbelievable story of dedication, Chris. Fukai is an incredible young talent.
Yes, indeed. And here's another, Yamaha Pro Marty Sisk. At just 23, he is by far the youngest angler in the top 10.
Really, the only bites that I've had have been on the channel swing points. But they seem to be pretty shallow on those points, so I'm trying to hit a few shallower points now, thinking that maybe some of the schools have moved up. Just need to get the right ones.
But no one said you had to be old to catch him, and Sisk has a quick final day limit in the live well.
But with a 6-pound deficit to make up, Keith, he too will need some bruisers to have a shot at leader Terry Baxay.
And here is your leader, but it looks like he may be opening the door just a bit.
It's been a nightmare start for Terry. He actually blew out his back hooking up his boat this morning, and the pain is seriously affecting his ability to hook, fight, and land fish.
Here we go. Dang! You told me this morning I'd come into this spot.
on a day like this and catching nothing, I'd look at you and I'd say, you're fibbing. Although I have had the opportunity.
So while Terry is trying to overcome an injury, his nearest challenger, Lowrance pro Tim Farley, is feeling no pain this morning.
He's on a really hot bite here, but will they be big enough?
What happens when you got a school of them fish, when you catch one, it pulls them out to you. Because that one fish is fighting, and they all try to catch up with him, because when you're fighting him, he's spitting up shad and what he had for breakfast. And the other ones are trying to get the bait away from him and get the stuff that he's spitting up. All right, I got my 5. Now it's time to go hog hunting, stick around and see what happens.
The final day is drawing to a close on Lake Lanier, and the best of the best are making the final charge towards $100,000 in the Walmart FLW Series. Stay tuned. FLW Outdoors will be right back. The tournament clock is ticking toward the weigh-in, and across the scenic Lake Lanier, the drama is building.
Keith, when we last left Fuji Pro Wesley Strader, he had only 3 fish in the live well and had been practicing some long-range catch and release. But a location change has resulted in a luck change, and suddenly the fish are finding their way into the boat.
You just gotta find the stupid one. And sun and get in. That's what all these fish are doing on those docks. Those floats hold heat, just like a solar blanket. And they get right up next to that, because the sun radiates off it and it absorbs the heat. So that dock's gonna be a ½ degree or maybe 1 degree warmer than anywhere out here.
What's incredible is how confident Strader is with a topwater bait. While most anglers are working deep and slow, Strader is coaxing his fish all the way to the surface.
You know what, Keith? That's proof that confidence is, in fact, the most important thing to have in your tackle box.
Another guy getting more confident by the minute is Ranger Pro Tom Mann Jr. With the fog gone, he's back on his deep, big fish spots.
More like.
And with a limit in the box, he's hunting for upgrades. Ranger Pro Jody Cordell's large school of deep water spotted bass are on the move, and so is he. Still, Cordell is scrounging out enough fighters to bring 5 fish to the scale.
I was lucky. How'd you like that catch in the net? That was pretty lucky. I haven't been so lucky today, but there's a lucky one.
The run and gun approach searching for active bass is working for A&W Pro JT Kinney. He has a limit in the boat, but both his watch and his gas gauge are working against him. Back now to Marty Sisk, and the Yamaha Young Gun is hooked up to a big bass. And even with time running out and potentially thousands of dollars at the end of his line, he's as cool as any tournament-tested veteran.
Man, Keith, that's an awesome bass. Unfortunately, it's the wrong color. Sorry, Marty, we can't let you weigh that one.
But Sisk does have a solid limit of spots in the live well and is searching for a kicker largemouth.
But he's running out of time, Keith. Those spotted bass were much more cooperative than the largemouth.
Yamaha Pro Mike Otten refuses to give up on his Muddy River largemouth.
He started the day 8 pounds out of the lead, and even though he's on his way to one of the biggest limits of the day, he'll need a monster to close that gap. Keith Shinfukai's shade pattern is really starting to shine, but a light line finesse fisherman is always taking a gamble when a truly big fish decides to bite.
You know, Chris, the clock is ticking, only moments remain, and every bite to these guys means thousands of dollars. And it all happens next when the Walmart FLW Series returns.
On FSN.
Welcome back to the Walmart FLW Series. Keith Leibowitz along with Chris Jones. And Chris, this is it. The final hour and the Big Bass Blitz is on.
Yes, indeed, and Shin Fukai just dumped a monster, but it doesn't look like he's folding under the pressure. He knows every bite and every ounce counts.
It's been a long time between bites for hometown hero Tim Farley. He's still trying to upgrade that small limit he caught this morning.
Come on, Lord, let me have a fish here, please. Give you a cookie.
And leader Terry Baxay is in an even tougher spot, Keith. Time is running out, and Baxay is still waiting for his first keeper.
There we go.
Get in here. Finally. All right. I can't bend down. Numero uno on the fish head. If we're gonna catch one, that'll be a good one. Look how pretty that fish is. Look how fat he is, just like me. Little chunk of mama. There we go. Good one.
But that's certainly not the case for Shinichi Fukai. He's not only hooked up with his limit fish, but this could be the big fish of the day and a $100,000 catch.
Ah! Woo! Ah!
Tim Farley is feeling the pressure, and he knows, Chris, his fish are not the size he needs to win.
That's what happens when you concentrate too hard. Trying too hard. Just settle down. Settle down and stick some lips here.
And this one won't help, Keith.
Terry Bad Back Baxay has battled a painful back injury and fickle fish all day long. But here in the home stretch, the leader is finally on biters.
Here we go. No, stay down, stay down, stay down. Another one. Notice that swift netting job into the boat.
He's got 4 in the box, Keith. It might be enough, but just one more bite would almost ensure the first ever Walmart FLW Series title. With moments to go, he's back on his favorite bridge piling for one more desperate attempt on the way back to the weigh-in.
And just like that, the limit fish is gone. But what about the victory?
I can't hang myself on this, can I? Dang it!
The 10 best bass fishermen in the world this week load their boats and head for the Walmart weigh-in. But who has enough Lake Lanier bounty to be called the first Walmart FLW Series champion? Find out coming up.
Hi, Ross. Pick a fish.
FLW Outdoors is more than just a fishing tournament. It's an event for everyone to enjoy. Family, friends, and fans all gather at Walmart for the fun and festivities while they wait for the best boys in bass fishing to arrive for the final showdown. This is it, the final weigh-in, a $100,000 top prize at stake.
How's it going?
Terry Baxay is our leader and is the first to claim our King of the Hill hot seat. Ranger Pro Tom Mann Jr. is the first to cross the stage.
All you need to take the lead from Connecticut's Terry Baxay, who's in first place, is 7 pounds and 9 ounces. New leader, 11 pounds and 5 ounces for Tom Mann Jr. Tom Mann, you'll take the lead. Absolutely, Mike Otten, one of the most popular professional bass anglers competing on the tournament trail today. He's had a great 3 days of competition. Looks like you had a pretty good day 4 here, Mike. 13 pounds and 8 ounces for Mike Otten. 13-8 has got you a lead.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Unfortunately, we've got some pretty good fishermen behind us, and they're on some pretty strong patterns.
Okay, JT Kenny, part of that A&W Root Beer Pro team. All you need, sir, to take the lead from Mike Otten, Yamaha Pro from Benton, Kentucky, is just 13 pounds, 7 ounces. Are you ready? He has a 5 bass limit worth 10 pounds and 1 ounce, 10-1, so you're going to come up just a little bit short. First off, Jody, what a fantastic crowd. Look, if you look through there, you see all the people here to root you on, see if you can pull this thing out.
Yeah, I want to thank my wife for putting up with me so much on being gone all the time. And I got Team Mom, that Mom supports me a lot, so.
There you go, she's your biggest sponsor.
There you go.
5 bass that weigh 12 pounds and 7 ounces, 12-7. You're going to come up a little bit short. Ranger Pro, Tim Peak from Sharpsburg, Georgia, on day 1, weighed in a 5 bass limit worth 17 pounds and 14 ounces. On day 2, had 10-15, and then yesterday had 11 pounds and 5 ounces. In 3 days, he has caught 40 pounds and 2 ounces, 5 bass that weigh 8 pounds and 5 ounces, so a small limit today. All right, Wesley, there you go. Another 5 bass limit for the former FLW Tour champion, Wesley Strader. 12 pounds and 5 ounces, new leader, Wesley Strader. Okay, Marty Sisk from Evansville, Indiana, 11-8 on day 1. Then he had 13 pounds and 13 ounces on day 2. And in 3 days, he's weighed 41 pounds and 8 ounces. He does have a 5 bass limit, 5 fish that'll weigh 11 pounds and 10 ounces. So you're going to come up just a little bit short.
Finally, we're down to just 3, but only one will be crowned the first ever Walmart FLW Series champion. Who will that be? We'll tell you next. Walmart, always low prices, always. Welcome back to Lake Lanier. We are down to the wire in the Walmart FLW Series. Our current leader is Fuji Pro Wesley Strader, and only 3 anglers still have a chance to knock him off his throne. The first to take a swing is 2004 Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, Shinichi Fukai.
This is Shinichi Fukai. Fujifilm shirt on today, Ranger Pro, Yamaha Pro. As Keith said, former Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, won the Okeechobee event this year, already won $100,000. You win this one, that'll make it another $100,000. Shinichi Fukai from Mineola, Texas, had 41-14 for his first 3 days total. Shin, you put yourself in contention for a win here today. Had a pretty good day, it looks like, 5 bass limit.
Fukai has a limit, but only 1 big bass in the bag. The question is, how much will his final day heartbreaker cost him?
All you need to take the lead from Wesley Strader is 11 pounds, 15 ounces. That's it. You've got 5 pretty good-looking fish in there. Don't know if you're going to have enough. We're going to find out. 5 bass, new leader, 12 pounds and 6 ounces for Shiniki Fukai.
So one of the hottest pros in the game is back at the top of the heap. But our next angler has had it going all week long. The hometown kid from Lula, Georgia, Tim Farley.
From Lula, Georgia, Tim Farley.
Great job, man. Listen to that crowd. That's what this is all about right there, man. That's what this is all about right there. Tim Farley, this is what this is all about. Look out there. And in 3 days, he has totaled up 46 pounds and 5 ounces. 46 pounds and 5 ounces. Here we go. He does have a limit, 5 bass limit. New leader, 10 pounds even for Tim Farley. New leader. Great job, Tim. Great job. And this is your chance to win $100,000. You've only got one pro angler left between you and that big check. Keith Leibowitz is with him right now.
I like making Tim nervous. I'm pretty good buddies with Tim, and I'm really enjoying watching him sweating over there. It's a good deal.
All right, well, let's end the sweating, and let's go ahead and bring up our 3-day tournament leader. Nobody has caught more fish out on Lake Lanier than this next angler to weigh in. Please welcome to the stage our 3-day tournament leader, Terry Baxay.
Okay, Terry Baxay. Come on, right over here, Tim Farley. This is what it's all about. All you need to dethrone Tim Farley of Lula, Georgia is 9 pounds and 4 ounces. He has 4.
Hold on. I wish there was another fish in there. I want to tell a real quick story. All week I've lost 1 fish. Today I lost 3 fish, and I know that happens and it's fishing. I only have 4 fish in there. I would have been a little more confident with 1 more in there, but we'll see what happens.
See what happens. I think it's going to be close. Here we go. Terry Baxay has 4. He needs 9 pounds, 4 ounces. 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Tim Farley is your champion.
So the hometown hero survives, and in his first FLW event, Tim Farley tames the pre-spawn bass of Georgia's Lake Lanier to become the first ever Walmart FLW Series champion. Tim is $100,000 richer, and this impressive field splits over $900,000 in prize money. Make sure to join us again on June 4th as the Walmart FLW Series tackles Kentucky's famous Lake Cumberland. And tune in to FLW Outdoors next week as the Walmart FLW Redfish Series invades Rockport, Texas. Log on to FLWOutdoors.com for complete tournament coverage and live webcast. For Chris Jones and all of us here at FLW Outdoors, I'm Keith Leibowitz. Thanks for watching.